I'm going to go over the contains duplicates CodingBat. And so, well, the idea is quite simple. Does it contain more than one of any element? So here's the basic idea. You give them just an array list that you're checking, and obviously if the array list isn't at least size 2, you can't have duplicates. So start with that. And so when you write your code, the array list exists and is at least size 2. Now the idea is, well, like here, this is a model. We start here, and so the current item is 3, and we're going to search through the rest of it and see if there's another 3. There's not, so the outer loop will move on here, and so the outer loop is now at spot 1, and the inner loop is going to start here in spot 2, and go through until it finds one that matches this. So let me start over. I'm going to use I and j as my indices, my variables. So I would be 0 right here, j would be 1, and not because there's a 1 there, because it's spot 1, which is after spot 0. And then once again, the inner loop would check spot 1 to see if there's a 3, check spot 2 to see if there's 3, check the next spot, the next spot, the next spot, all the way to the end. And then, but they wouldn't find 1, so I would increment to 1. So I is 1 at spot 1, and then j would start at spot 2, and then go to the end. Now, of course, in this example, it finds another one right there. But let's say it didn't. Let's say there were no duplicates. Then I just want to stress again, the outer loop is going to start at beginning spot 0 and go until it gets to the second to last spot, because the inner loop is going to always start at the spot after that, and so you don't want to go to the very end. So that's why I say it this way. The loop, the outer loop, is going from spot 0 to the penultimate spot, which just means the second to last spot, and the inner loop starts right after that. So you just do j equals I plus 1, and you go all the way to the end, because that's, once again, like when I was 0, the inner loop started at spot 1 and went all the way to the 9. It has to check the 9, see if there's a 3 at the last spot. And now when you write the code to check, you can use equals equals with numbers. It's better because they're objects, and once again, if it's an array list, it always stores objects. You can't do ints or lowercase d doubles or anything like that. They must be objects. So it's safer to just do dot equals. But with numbers, either one works, but it's good to be in the habit of just always using the equals method for objects. And then the last detail, notice that if we find duplicates, return true immediately, and then return false only if you get through the whole thing and never found never found a duplicate. I've seen some people, they would create a variable that stores false and then set it to be true here and then return it at the end, and if it didn't find anything, then it would just stay as false. There's nothing wrong with that. Excuse me. Except for the fact that once it's found a duplicate, it keeps searching when it doesn't need to. But otherwise, it's fine.